Today we've got the Thrunite T2. The T2 is kind of a sister light to the T3. It's similar yet different, and I will compare and contrast those later in the video. But for starters, let's take a look at the T2. The T2 is a chunky light in the hand and thus also chunky light in the pocket. Comes in at $65.95, putting out 3,757 lumens. The front of this has the Cree XHP 70 LED and a shallow depth orange peel reflector, which is going to make this light very floody. So if you're looking for a thrower, this is not the light for you. Looking at some of the stuff that it comes with, standard belt clip case. On the flimsier side of belt clip cases, not good or bad, it just is. If you know belt clip cases, this is on the thinner side of the nylon. D-ring here, and on the back, another ring that you can loop your belt through. Light goes in there, and actually the Velcro on this leaves some room at the top there. If you were to seal it all the way down, it works, but the Velcro is kind of a little bit long for where that is. Not a big deal, but again, just something minor to note there. Also comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable and an extra bag of goodies with a lanyard and some O-rings and some extra button caps. And then, of course, instruction manual. The light itself, like I said, it's a pretty chunky light. And looking at it from the back, there is no button on the back. The only button is up there on the side. And so, of course, you can tail stand it if you're so inclined. The pocket clip is removable bi-directional. So if you wanted to mount this on a hat, you could, although it's pretty hefty light. So mounting it on a hat might be a little on the heavy side. Moving forward, there is the button on the side there. That is the only button. On the inside of the light, there is a Thrunite 21700 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You can see there. Some O-rings here to help with that IPX8 water rating. Looking on the other side is the port where you charge it. You plug in that USB-C cable. It's red as it's charging and changes to blue when it is fully charged. User interface of the light, again, as I've said in many videos, if you are familiar with modern flashlights, this one will be no stranger to you. Long press it gets you that moonlight mode. And then press it again, goes off. From that moonlight mode, if you hold it again, it will go into lockout. And then you can click it and will not come back on. To get out of lockout, hold that down again, moonlight mode comes back on, and you can click it off. From there, you can single click it on, and it will have mode memory from whatever you turn it off on other than the moonlight or the turbo. And then from here, it is a stepped UI. So you just hold it down and it will go through low, medium, high. Cycle through those. From any brightness, double click to turbo, triple click to strobe, and back off. So again, very straightforward user interface, everything that you are all used to with modern flashlights these days. Looking at the beam of this light, as I mentioned, it is a very floody beam. They say that it will throw 158 meters, and usually I translate that into a useful distance. I just made it hit feet, simply switching the name of the units. Meters to feet, 150 feet, because again, it's a very broad-based beam. Now, because they are kind of similar lights, comparing the T2 to the T3, you can see that they are pretty similar in size. The T3 is just slightly larger, just a little bit longer. Feel in the hand, they are really you wouldn't probably know the difference. They are both the same price at $65.95. Now, there are two big differences between these lights. One of them is the user interface and the other one is the beam profile. The user interface on the T2, as I've explained, is a stepped interface that just ramps between the three brightnesses, whereas the user interface on the T3 is a ramped brightness, and you hold it down and it ramps up, and you hold it again and it ramps down. So depending on your style, different needs there. The other difference is that because the T2 has that shallow orange peel reflector, it gives a very broad-based beam, and the T3 has a very deep, smooth reflector that's going to give a much more focused beam. 6,300 candela on the T2 to 22,680 candela on the T3. So again, a much more focused beam, a much more throwy beam. You can see here the different beam profiles. Again, the T2 is very broad-based, and the water tower out in the distance really does not light up much with the T2. But when you switch over to the T3, being a much more thrower, they say it will throw 301 meters versus 158 for the T2, and you can see you're definitely going to get your distance out of the T3. So these two lights, again, very similar. It really just depends on what you're looking for in a flashlight. Do you want flood or do you want throw? Same size, same price, just different functionalities and then different user interfaces. Personally, I like the stepped user interface of the T2 in general. I just like being able to ramp between brightnesses and I know what I'm coming to. But I know that there are people that do like the ramp brightness because you can, I don't know, get a little more fine-tuned, but I don't find that I need that fine-tune as much. I'm fine with the preset brightnesses that are built in. Either way though, both great lights, the Thrunite T2 and the T3. I'll put links to both of them below. I previously reviewed the T3. You can check out that video as well. Links up here, and I will catch you in the next flashlight video.